attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening and welcome to the Most Powerful Life June 2015 educational series. I'm Marlene McCallum, your host and the founder of Most Powerful Life. This month, it's my privilege to introduce to you Penny Catterall, professional organizer and productivity consultant. Penny is the owner and founder of Order Your Life, a firm based in the Washington, D.C. metro area that specializes in home office, and small business organization services. You're in for a real treat tonight because Penny is passionate about her topic and her passion is contagious. She will motivate you to make the changes you have been wanting to make in your business. Tonight's training, Smart Tech Solutions for Your Small or Home-Based Business, is designed to take you to the next level in running your business efficiently and profitably. We will take questions throughout the presentation. You can send those to me in the questions or chat area, and I'll be saving them for the Q&A at the end. And now I will turn over this evening's session to our featured presenter, Penny Catterall, joining us from the Washington, D.C. metro area. Welcome, Penny.
Thank you, Marlene. I'm very pleased to be here, and thanks so much for hosting me here tonight. As Marlene said, I am Penny Catterall. I have been a professional organizer for over 5 years now, and I specialize in office and digital organizing. But I have been a home-based business owner since 2000. I worked first as a freelance consultant in health research advocacy, and then I started my own jewelry and knitting design business. And then I did that for about 8 years before going into full-time professional organizing in 2009. So I have learned the hard way all the different things that one has to do to be successful as a small business owner in many, many different fields. And I am very pleased to be able to share my knowledge with you today on this webinar of how you too can be a successful business owner. And we are going to go to the first slide, if it goes. And I don't know why it's always slow in going. Okay, it just wants to, there we go. So as a small business owner, you not only have to be good at doing what you do in your business, as your business, whether you're a massage therapist or a lawyer or a yoga instructor or a jewelry designer or, like me, a professional organizer, but you also have to be able to run the business end of things competently. So your business depends on this just as much as the other, or else it's really not going to succeed. As solopreneurs or small business owners, we do not have a staff of people at our beck and call to do our accounting and our invoicing, our marketing, our client relations, or any of the other multitude of things that need to get done to keep our businesses running. But we do have the internet and the power of web-based solutions to help us manage many of these areas, and especially our money, our time, our tasks, our clients, and our information. Over the next hour, I'm going to go over each of these 5 areas and talk about why they're essential to enhancing the efficiency and productivity of your business, as well as some of the digital and tech tools that are available to help you achieve this. And I'm going to include some specific examples and screenshots of my favorite apps and the ones that I use to help you give you a better idea of what these look like in action and how I use them to enhance my business productivity. And finally, we're going to leave questions, of course, at the end for any time for any questions you might have at the end. So with that, let's get started with everyone's favorite topic, money. Managing your money. So no matter how much we love what we do, we are all in business to make money. Making money is what makes it a business and not a hobby. And you would be surprised at how many business owners don't actually know how much money they make during the year. And they don't know until the very end of the year at tax time. So it's very important to know how much money you make all the time. At the end of the day, you want to know A, how much you've made, B, how much you spent, obviously, your expenses, and C, what your profit is, which is A minus B. And even if you don't know, the IRS does want to know. If you, the IRS definitely wants to know this so that you can pay your estimated quarterly income taxes on time, And if you want to know this so that you can budget appropriately for future expenses and know how much you could take out for your owner's draw or salary, and also know the monetary health state of your business. So managing your money. Fortunately, accounting has been made very easy by some great tech and web-based solutions over the past several years. And even those of us, including me, who basically failed accounting in college, can easily keep track of our money and our income and expenses. So at the most basic level, you need to be able to record your income and expenses and track them by IRS category and client. You absolutely need to separate your business expenses from your personal expenses. Get a separate credit card for your business expenses. I can't tell you how many clients I have who have one Visa card or one American Express card, and they put all their expenses on the same card. If you have your own business, please, even if you don't want to get a credit card in the business's name, use a separate card for your business expenses. It's just going to make it a lot easier, and the IRS does not like to have personal and business expenses commingled. And you really need to pay your estimated taxes quarterly. You are going to get hit with a huge tax fine and penalties on April 15th if you don't keep up with your regular estimated tax payments. So the features that you really want to have, these are the essential features that I feel are necessary for money management. First, it needs to be cloud-based. So whatever information you input in one device is automatically going to show up in every other device you're using it on. And this can include your desktop, whether it's a PC or a Mac, or the web, or mobile devices, or tablets. You need to be able to track your income and expenses automatically by syncing with your business credit cards and your bank accounts. There is nothing more tedious or time-consuming than having to enter all your expenses by hand, which a lot of clients of mine still do. They have Excel spreadsheets, and they actually enter expenses and income by hand. And human error means that you are going to invariably miss something or enter it incorrectly. The only time you really need to enter something in one of these accounting systems is when you spend cash. You definitely want it to be able to categorize your expenses. Sometimes it can take a bit of time to train a system to learn what categories go with which expenses, but it's pretty easy to do, and it's worth it when tax time comes around, because then everything is ready for your Schedule C. Integrated invoicing is a key feature to have. You want your system to be able to pull client information and your hours billed and put it directly into an invoice, which can then be emailed to your client and then paid directly to you. You do not want to have to waste your time doing a Word document or an Excel document and entering all this information by hand. You want to be able to capture your basic client information somewhere in the system. That includes the name, address, email, all that information, so that you can use it to both send your invoices to the right place and also to track where your income is coming from and where you're spending your time. It is essential for the system to have a mobile app so that you can enter and check information on the go. And it should be able to generate reports like profit and loss statements or sales tax reports, the types of income you've earned, who your best customers are, that kind of thing. This is very useful for yourself, looking at your overall business health, and also for your accountant. And if you want to get investors, they're going to want to have these kinds of reports as well. So those are the essential features. On the nice-to-have features, it's very nice to be able to have an integrated time tracking system so that you can keep on top of your billable hours if you do bill your clients by the hour. If you work from home and you use your card to go to client meetings or to the bank to deposit checks, if you still deposit them in person, don't forget that your mileage is deductible. So it's very convenient if you can enter the miles you drive right into your accounting software and have it calculate the federal mileage rate for you as part of your business expenses. If you are an inventory-based business, it's important to be able to track the sales tax due on your items sold, depending on which state you live in or sell it. And if you want to stay on top of what you owe the IRS each quarter, it's great to have a program that actually tells you how much you owe in estimated taxes based on how much you've actually made so far that year. And finally, if you can get a program that actually generates a finished Schedule C based on all of your income and expenses for the year, and get it ready for your year-end taxes, you will have a very happy accountant, or if you're like me, and you do your taxes yourself, you will have eliminated a huge step. So here are some of the options. I've got three different options for online accounting software. So QuickBooks is the first solution that comes to mind when you think about accounting software. It's been around for the longest. It's integrated. It's part of the Intuit family, and it has an excellent reputation. The desktop version, the part that is only for Mac or PC that I tried to learn several years ago, however, I found, as not a numbers person, was very, very cumbersome. I found it very hard to use. But I've checked out the newer online version, the QuickBooks Online, and while I've heard complaints about it from some people, I find it much more user-friendly. So QuickBooks has a lot of different versions that you can choose from depending on what kind of business you run. If you're a self-employed freelancer, they have one for that. They have a special one for small business owners with employees. But I'd say the mid-range level of QuickBooks does pretty much everything you're going to need. So it can download transactions and categorize income and expenses from your business bank account and your credit card accounts. It tracks your mileage, and it calculates your quarterly taxes. It can both create and send invoices and estimates. And it creates lots and lots and lots of reports, profit and loss statements, balance sheets, accounts payable, accounts receivable, cash flow, a whole lot more. QuickBooks basically offers more reports of all the software apps out there than any other, but you might not actually need all that information. It does have a mobile app that's good for iPhone, iPad, and Android. And the pricing is quite a bit of a range. It starts at about $10 a month for the most basic plan. This is for the self-employed, they call it independent contractor plan. And it can go up to $40 a month for the small business plan. The small business plan includes inventory tracking. If you have a product-based business, it can generate payroll and 1099 statements, and it can track billable hours for clients. There are two other cloud-based accounting software programs that have all the essential features that the QuickBooks has, but they tend to be less expensive, and I find them a little bit more user-friendly for very small businesses or for people who are really doing everything themselves if you don't want to have somebody else do your QuickBooks for you. So there are FreshBooks and outright GoDaddy Bookkeeping. Both of them track your income and expenses, and they sync with your credit cards and pretty much every e-commerce site that you can think of, including Etsy and PayPal, as well as your bank. They both have really great invoicing features. Outright even has an automatic reminder that goes out to let your client know when they haven't paid your invoice within the terms you've set. So if you set a 10-day payment term, if it hasn't been marked as paid in the system, it will automatically email your client out, so you don't have to remember to do that. Both of them take online payments for free from or included in the basic price from PayPal or credit cards or online banking. You can actually do this with QuickBooks as well, but they actually charge you per transaction, including for the online e-checking, which I didn't think was very nice. You can track your time, your project time by both client and task with both of these. And they both give you instant access to your essential numbers, how much you've earned, who's paid you, who hasn't paid you, your sales tax due, your profit and loss, and your spending in different categories. They both have mobile apps for iPhone, iPad, and Android. And FreshBooks starts at about $10 a month. Well, that sounds great. It's only for 5 clients. And unless you have 5 very, very big clients, you hopefully are going to outgrow that. It goes up to $29.95 a month for unlimited clients. So it's a little on the pricey side when you get up there. Outright, or GoDaddy Bookkeeping, is a flat $9.99 a month for unlimited clients and entries. And that includes the mileage tracking, the estimated taxes, and generating a full Schedule C for you, which FreshBooks does not. So that's my wrap-up of managing your money. So now we're going to move on to managing your time. Just as you need to know where every dollar goes, you need to know where every hour goes, because time is money. If you are selling a service and you're charging by the hour, then time tracking is essential to know how much you have to charge your clients. But it is also really important to keep track of your non-billable time to see where the rest of your day goes, and it does go, whether you spend it on marketing or administration, emails, or social media. You want to be able to figure out, because that's all part of your business. It's not just what you bill your clients. It's really good to keep track of where you spend all the rest of your non-billable time. So the best app that I have found to track time while I'm with my clients is something called Hours Tracker. And it's a very, very simple app that is on my iPhone, and it also comes for Android. So you do not need to use spreadsheets or notebooks or Post-its. You can stay on top of your billable hours, and I've been using this for over 5 years now. Basically, with Hours Tracker, you can set up as many jobs as you need for as many clients as you want. You enter all the information about the job, including the client's name, the hourly rate for that specific client. You can tell it how to round your time to the nearest half hour or the hour or quarter hour or even down to the minute. And it can allow you to enter breaks and pauses in the time that you log. So then you can clock in and out of jobs, and you just press go and stop. And when you're done, Hours Tracker actually figures out the billable total for you, which is a great thing for me because my math is terrible. So you can enter the time that you worked in the past manually if you forget to clock in quickly, and it's very easy to do that. And then you can go back and look at how much time you've spent working for clients and what you've earned. And you can do this by the day or the week or the month or by the client. And there's also a comment section at the end of every client notation where you can put in a little note on what you did for each client if you want to do that. You can take the data and export it into a Excel in a CSV format, and you can also email it right into text if you want to do that. So there is a free version, but it only allows you 3 jobs and 21 days worth of entries. So that doesn't really take you very far. Then the personal version allows you 5 jobs and unlimited entries, and I outgrew that pretty quickly. So I went ahead and just ponied up for the pro version, which allows you unlimited entries and unlimited jobs, and that is $8.99. So here's a screenshot of what Hours Tracker looks like on an iPhone. It's pretty similar on the Android as well. So you can see what the data looks like in different ways. So on the leftmost one, you can track your data by weeks. On the middle one, you can look at it by the company, how much time you've worked for a certain client or company. And on the right, you can track it by pay periods. So if you have to work by pay periods, and you can define your own pay periods, weekly or monthly or bi-weekly, you can do that as well. So it's got some great reporting features. It's a very, very robust little app. It's actually rated the #1 time tracking app. Another great app is Toggle Timer. And Toggle Timer works on all platforms. Hours Tracker is really only a mobile app. But Toggle Timer works on your Mac, your Windows computer, and Linux, and it also has mobile and desktop apps. So you can set it up to use both for billable and non-billable time, and that's what I use it for in terms of projects and tasks. So if I'm on client work, I use Hours Tracker, and if I'm at home working on projects at home that are non-billable and I want to keep track of emails or social media time that I spend, I use Toggle Timer for that. It's great for teams because you can have up to 5 people on a team on the free version of Toggle Timer. And the free version does pretty much everything you need. It has unlimited number of projects and clients that you can add in. So I've never found a need to go past the free version. It also integrates with a lot of other apps, including FreshBooks, so you can sync your time entries there for quicker invoicing. And if you want to do the free version, as I said, is really quite handy and is plenty for what I need it for. But if you want to go to the paid version, it's $5 a month. And you can track teams, time for teams larger than 5 people. So if you've got a larger business, that's probably what you're going to want to do. And it can also calculate your billable time entries and add sub-projects. So I tend to use Hours Tracker, as I said, for the billable time because it's just a one-time price of $9 rather than $5 a month, and I'm always watching where every dollar goes. And I use the free version of Toggle to track my non-billable time spent on my business as well as personal projects I'm working on. And I have my contractors use it for client work that they do on my behalf so I can keep on top of what they're working on. This is what my Toggle Timer screenshot looks like from my computer, from my desktop. And as you can see, for early June, I've got some emails, I've got administrative, and the MPL webinar is what I'm doing tonight. And I spent a lot of time on that, and it's nice to be able to just track that. And then it sends you a weekly report of where all your time went. So you don't actually have to go in and look at it. It will just send you a digest of where your time went for the week. But you do have to track it. So what do you do with all that time you spend? Well, a lot of it is spent on tasks or to-do lists. Tasks can come in many forms. There are tasks that we need to get done for our clients or customers. There are overhead tasks that we need to do to keep our business running. And then if you have a team working for you, there are tasks that everyone else is doing, and you need to keep track of who is doing what. So there are probably more task management apps out there than virtually any other category, but I'm going to try to go over a few of my favorites. And first, mostly because I'm a Mac user, the most obvious one for everyone out there with an iPhone is Reminders. Reminders is the native iOS app, which means it comes on your iPhone whether you like it or not. So even if you want to get rid of it, you can't. However, it's actually not a bad little app, and it works pretty well for a lot of folks who want a very, very basic to-do list. You can very easily add and delete as many personalized lists as you want. And as you can see by the little icon on the right, it's very colorful, which I like. I'm into color. You can add specific date and time reminders attached to each task, and those will pop up in your iCal calendar if you are an iCal user. And you can also add notes and the priority level of the task, and how important it is on they do it with little exclamation marks. Another very cool thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that you can use Siri, which is iPhone's intelligent personal assistant, to add reminders by voice. So say you're driving in your car and your iPhone does have to be plugged in to a power outlet in the car, but you can just say, hey Siri, remind me to pick up some bread on the way home tonight. And Siri will actually put in a reminder right into Reminders and pop that task right in for you. So you don't have to write anything down. You can just tell Siri to add a reminder for you. So I thought that was a very useful thing for people to know, and a lot of people do not know it. Also, if you use a Mac, there's a desktop version of reminders in the latest version, Yosemite, of the iOS software, of the OS X software. So you can have it in your dock, and it syncs with your iPhone app. So it's very easy to add tasks both on your computer and on your iPhone. And of course, it's completely free. It will never be more, it just can't, they're never going to charge for it. So. But reminders on the Mac is not as pretty as reminders on the iPhone, which is very colorful, but this is how it looks, the screenshot from my Mac. You can see I have different lists set up for different parts of my life, and you can share those little, the little share icon over there means you can share with anybody else on iCloud if you want to share a list with them. So you can share business reminders with somebody else on your team, or shopping list with somebody else in your family if you want to do that, or anything else. So next, if you are not a Mac user, and I know there are a lot of people out there who are not Mac users, another great task management app is Wunderlist. Wunderlist can be used both as a web version. There's desktop app, which means it just shows up as an icon on your Mac or your Windows computer. And of course, there are mobile apps for iOS and Android. You can have unlimited number of lists, even in the free basic version. It has a beautiful user interface, much, much nicer looking than reminders, especially on the desktop and web versions. If that's an important thing to you, you can personalize it and put all these nice different backgrounds in it. And what's fun is that it actually syncs with Toggle Timer so that you can track how much time it takes you to do each task. So if you've got Toggle, it'll recognize it and it'll immediately start syncing it with the time on Toggle. The basic version is free, and it does everything you need it to do. And even though I'm a paperless person, if you really, really want to, you can print your lists. Reminders does not let you print your lists, and I know that's been a source of upset for some of my clients who really, really do like to print their reminder lists out. But in Wunderlist, you can print your lists. The Pro version is $4.99 a month, and that will allow you to add comments and assign to-dos to different people and attach files of any size. So if you do want to amp it up a bit, you can get the Pro version. So this is a screenshot of Wunderlist, of my Wunderlist app. It's very, very easy to add new tasks, and I would say overall it's a great intermediate task app if you want something a little bit more robust than reminders. And just a side note, I want to let you know I don't actually use all these task apps simultaneously. It would be very confusing, and I do not advocate doing that. I just have accounts with a lot of different ones so that I can try them out for my clients who have different needs and different skill sets. And while I love Wunderlist, and I did use it for a while, I have moved on full-time to using the next app I'm going to be showing you, which is something called Nozbe. So if you want to step it up a notch, this is something you might want to consider. Nozbe is a cloud-based task and project management app that's based on David Allen's Getting Things Done concept. If you are familiar with GTD, it's a productivity tool. And there are several other GTD-based apps out there, including Remember the Milk and OmniFocus. But this is the one that seems to have worked, that works best for me at least. And it's definitely much, much more than a basic to-do list. Nozbe has a desktop app for Mac and Windows, and also a web version, and also apps for iOS and Android, so you can use it pretty much anywhere you want. The free version, which I used for about 6 months or so, allows you to have about up to 5 projects that you can attach a task to. So in GTD, anything with more than 2 steps involved is considered a project. So you can, projects multiply pretty quickly if you adhere to David Allen's way of thinking. However, you can have unlimited numbers of tasks that are not attached to projects, which are just sort of standalone, which can reside in your inbox. You can attach files and comments and subtasks to your tasks, even in the free version. So that's a really nice addition. And it does integrate beautifully with Evernote, Google, Microsoft Office, and Dropbox, so that you can attach your notes and documents and files from any of these apps as comments or attachments to your projects. The free version, as I said, allows you up to 5 projects, but I did outgrow that pretty quickly. And the pro version is $8 a month, which allows you to have unlimited projects. And the next slide is going to show you my Nozbe setup. So, as you can see, I have a lot more than 5 projects, and I add new ones all the time. But when I finish one, I make sure to delete it. So you have a lot of personalized options on Nozbe. You can add things like contexts, which is where you're going to do your task, whether it's an email or an errand, or you're going to do it at your desk or computer or phone, and that allows you to batch your tasks, which is a productivity tool that is very useful to do, so that if you have a bunch of phone calls to make, you can just press this little icon right here, and that shows you all the things you've listed as phone calls or emails, and you can do them all at once. You can also tell Nozbe for each task how long you think the task is going to take, and you can attach notes and files, and you can do a lot more with it. The thing I really love most about Nozbe is that everybody who has a Nozbe account, whether it's free or paid for, has their own personal Nozbe email address. So you can forward your emails from whatever email server app you use, and you can forward them directly into Nozbe, and those will become actions or tasks within Nozbe. So you can see right here on this slide that there was something from my local listserv on auto body shop recommendations, and I am looking for a new, I have to get my car repaired, and so that I just forwarded that directly into Nozbe, and that has become a task for me to do, to take my car into this place that is recommended on the listserv. So I check my Nozbe at least once a day. I add things to it from everywhere. I add to it from my desktop, my iPhone. I do a daily review once a week as per David Allen's GTD philosophy, to make sure I've got everything on my list that needs to be there. And there is a whole lot more to both Nozbe and getting things done that I can go over here in this limited time. But those are some of the key features that I really found was worth paying for, and I feel like I'm getting a great return on my money for this, this app. So the next thing that you need to be able to do after you've gotten your tasks under control is to be able to manage your customers or clients, your current ones, as well as your pipeline of future clients. So this is where something called a CRM, or customer relationship management software tool, comes in very handy. You need to have a systematized, efficient way of gathering leads and converting them into sales, and then turning them into loyal customers and clients. The CRM is probably the best way to keep track of all the people and conversations and tasks that are the lifeline of your business. And that includes keeping all the related emails together, as well as the specific tasks and notes pertaining to your clients and prospects and opportunities. You can also collect and manage all the data and information in one place, and it's in the cloud, so that valuable information doesn't fall through the cracks. And you can view the status of any deal or relationship instantly, which is extremely helpful. So here are the main things that I feel that you need to look for when you're looking at a CRM. You need something that will easily capture and manage all of your current customers or clients and all of their relevant information, including who referred you, who they're connected with, their social media profiles, their name, their address, their background information, all of that. You also want to be able to capture and manage any potential future customers or leads. You'll need an easy to use task section that enables you to add client-specific tasks, and preferably those are linked to your calendar with a reminder to do it when you need to do it. It's great to have a section specifically set aside for proposals and opportunities for you to pursue and tasks that are specifically related to those proposals. An integrated calendar is very important. A lot of CRMs integrate with Google Calendar so that if you enter appointments and reminders in your CRM, it will automatically integrate right into your Google Calendar. It's very important to be able to attach or add any meeting notes, either manually typing in meeting notes or attaching emails and files so that all of your client-related data is in one place. And a CRM that connects with third-party tools is an added bonus. For instance, if you have something that links with MailChimp or Constant Contact, you can send out newsletters and emails directly from your CRM to segments of your contact base. If you have LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook integration, you can follow your clients or their organization's profiles on social media directly from your CRM. You don't have to log in separately to Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. And if you have a Dropbox or a Google Drive, you can attach your files directly from those apps as part of your client notes. Mobile access is key because you are not going to be carrying your computer around with you most of the time. You'll be taking your smartphone, and you need to be able to access and enter your information from your CRM on the go. The cost of CRMs really depends on the level of service and the number of users and the number of contacts that you want to store. So there are CRMs that range from anywhere from free to up to $50 a month. It's really a huge range. But the key is to not get more than you need. Most CRMs, including ones like Salesforce that I'm going to talk about in a minute, and Infusionsoft in particular, are much too technically complex and have way too many features that very small businesses are never going to use. You really need to get what works for you and your business. Start simple if necessary, and then as your business grows, you can scale up if necessary. Don't go overboard with the CRM to start out with. So Salesforce has been in business the longest and is consistently ranked one of the top CRMs for small business. Although it's typically associated with larger businesses, they do have this small business edition that has a full set of CRM features that includes lead generation and contact and opportunity management, sales forecasting, if you're into that, workflow automation, and a lot more. It has a great social media integration. It profiles automatically populate your contact social media accounts, including Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You do have mobile access from all of your mobile devices. It is consistently ranked one of the best in customer service, but it is very complex. Sometimes it's actually too complicated for small business owners to actually figure out how to use. And a lot of people have to end up hiring software developers to implement it for them, which I feel is completely beside the point and ends up costing you thousands of dollars more. And if you can't use it yourself, you really shouldn't be using it. It starts at $25 a month for up to 5 users, so it's not exactly cheap, but you can try it out if you feel. I think they have a 14-day free trial, so it's definitely worth checking out if you think it's something that you might want to look at. Zoho has actually been ranked one of the best free, completely free CRM software tools. It has a complete set of all the necessary features that I've talked about, including lead gathering and contact management and sales pipelines. It integrates with Twitter and Facebook so that you can connect with your contacts and see their updates right from your dashboard. And of course, it has mobile access, and what's cool is it has an offline mode, which is very useful if you find yourself without internet access. You can still access all of your information on the mobile app. It works seamlessly with Google Apps, so if you are a Google user, you could use it to integrate with Gmail, Google Calendar, and Google Tasks. And most importantly, it is completely free for up to 10 users. So this is a great option for those who don't want to spend any money to start out with on a CRM and you just want to road test something. Insightly is the CRM that I use. I like it because it is very simple to set up and it has great user interface and it basically combines contact management and project management. It is really built for solopreneurs or micro businesses without a lot of complicated extraneous features that I'm never going to use. So while it has all the basic capabilities that you need that the other two CRMs have that I talked about, it's also scalable as your business grows. It has a mobile app which makes it very easy to access your data from anywhere. And I actually personally use the free version, which allows you to store up to 2,500 client records with up to 2 users. But if you end up having more than that, it's only $12 a month per user after that. And what I also love about Insightly, along with Nosby, is that I have my own Insightly email address. So if I get emails in my Order Your Life email, I can forward anything that's client related directly into Insightly, and those get automatically linked to the matching contact in Insightly. So everything is in one place. So moving on to managing your information. Information overload is rampant, especially when we run our own businesses. There is a lot of information that we have to keep track of as small business owners. And this includes business records, which include client files and receipts and business cards and legal documents, and a lot more. You can have to keep track of reference material, and that includes articles, both paper and web articles, product information, catalogs, books, and ideas and brainstorming or thoughts that come to you from everywhere. And a lot of people I know and a lot of my clients tend to jot those down on notepads or Post-its, and this basically adds up to a lot of paper. So I'm a big fan of using technology to help manage your information, and especially paper. I like to talk about going paperless rather than paper-free, though, because it's impossible and unnecessary to eliminate all paper. So what I focus on is really getting rid of the paper that does not need to be cluttering up your physical space so that you can focus on the paper that's important. The benefits of going paperless are manifold. Having less paper means less to store. So you will have fewer file cabinets and more room for other more important things in your life. File cabinets are not very pretty. I have a client now also that I'm working with who's running a 10 by 10 storage unit, and all that's left in it is 10 boxes of paper. And I would guarantee you that 9 out of 10 of those boxes are not worth even keeping. They are probably old bills and things that just can be scanned or shredded. And he's paying $340 a month just to keep 10 boxes of paper. So next week I'm going over there, and I'm very happy to say that I'll be emptying the storage unit out. Having your paper in digital format also increases your productivity and decreases your time spent in looking for things. As my eldest son said, "Mom, paper is not searchable, but scanned documents are searchable." The cost savings in not using paper are enormous. Just think of how much you spend every year on ink cartridges and paper and toner. And the environmental impact is also huge. The average American uses about 6 40-foot trees a year in paper. And of course, your peace of mind is priceless. Less paper coming in means much less that you have to deal with. I personally get major anxiety attacks when there's too much paper on my desk. I find it very, very difficult to get anything done. If paper is scanned or dealt with or less paper is coming in, I am much more productive. So what do you do with the paper that you do have that is worthy of keeping? Well, you scan it. You start by investing in a dedicated document scanner, and I'm not talking about one of those all-in-one printer, scanner, fax copiers that are slow and unwieldy, and even for a tech person like me, very, very difficult to operate. Or you download a mobile app called Scannable, which is free. That's the little icon down there. It's an Evernote-based one, but you can use it with anything you want, and it's a really great free, the best, frankly, free mobile app scanner that I found on the, out there today. And you start by scanning all the new paper that comes in. So don't worry about the old stuff for now. We're just going to start with anything new that comes in. And that includes your receipts, so your business expenses. You can scan business cards. You can scan client records, anything new that comes in. And then save them to a cloud-based service such as Dropbox or Evernote, or if you're not comfortable with a cloud, you can put them on a hard drive or on your computer, but please make sure to back it up. And then, this is the hard part for everybody, you shred it or you recycle it. Don't scan it and then keep the paper. The whole point of scanning is not to keep the paper, unless it's a vital document. If it's a vital document, it's notarized, it's got signatures on it, it's a will, something like that, obviously you want to keep it. But business expenses, business receipts, the IRS accepts scanned copies of your of all of your business expenses as legitimate backup. So you do not have to have shoeboxes full of business expenses. You can scan them, and the scanned copies will work just fine. So I use a combination of ScanSnap, Fujitsu ScanSnap products, and the mobile apps, especially Scannable now, to keep my paper under control. And what I love about the Fujitsu ScanSnap products is that, one, they all scan to Mac and PC interchangeably, so you don't have to buy a different scanner for each computer. And that's very important if you live in a mixed household like mine. We have 2 Macs and 2 PCs, and I can take the same scanner and unplug it and plug it into all the different computers, and I don't have any problems, and that's not the case for a lot of scanners out there. You can scan documents very easily, as well as images, directly onto either a folder on your hard drive or the cloud, like Dropbox or Evernote. You can scan to email. You can scan directly into a Word document, Excel, PowerPoint, iPhoto, and a lot more. When you scan a photo, the resolution on the ScanSnaps is very high. You can get up to 600 dpi or dots per inch, which is the highest that you can get in personal photo scanning. You can scan all those business cards that have been piling up on your desk and in your drawers and everywhere else, and actually get them right into your contact database. So ScanSnap uses something called OCR, and will take all the information out of the business card and put it directly into using one of its 2 programs, CardBinder or CardIris, and put it either directly into Outlook or Apple Address Book or other programs if you've got them. As I just said, all ScanSnap can use a process called OCR, or optical character recognition. And during the scanning process, what happens is the text is analyzed and converted into readable data so that you can actually make scanned PDF files searchable, and you can convert your paper-based files into editable Word or Excel documents. So if you've got just a piece of paper and you want to turn it into a Word doc, you can do that. You can extract content information from your business cards, and it helps you find what you're looking for. So these are the 3 main ScanSnaps that are available on the market today. The iX100 mobile scanner was that little one on the page before. It's the latest one that just came out on the market. It's very lightweight. It only weighs 400 grams, or under a pound, 14 ounces, and I take it with me to all my client appointments. I can install it on as many computers as I want. There's no license limit. It scans one side at a time, which is called simplex scanning. But you can scan front and back. You can pull it out and scan the other side. And it does both color and black and white. It is wireless, which means it can scan using Wi-Fi directly to your computer or your mobile device. And it uses a lithium-ion rechargeable battery, so there's no need to plug it into a power outlet, except if you have to recharge the battery, which you do just by plugging it into your computer or into a USB port of some kind. The S1300i is made for more heavy-duty scanning. So this is great if you just, the iX100 is great if you're just doing light level scanning. The next one really has all the features of the iX100, but you can scan up to 20 pages at a time. As you can see, the document feeder is there. So it does both simplex and duplex scanning, which means it can scan both sides of the page at the same time. And it has all the other features of the iX100, except it doesn't do Wi-Fi. And if you're really serious about going paperless and you have a lot of scanning to do and you want to clear those file cabinets out, the iX500 color duplex scanner is really the best scanner there ever was. I've got it sitting right here next to me on my desk. I can't imagine what I would do without it. I use it probably 10 to 15 times a day. It has an automatic feeder, but you can have 50 pages at a time, and it scans 25 pages a minute or 50 images a minute. And you can also use it to scan wirelessly, and as well as to your PC or your Mac and to your mobile devices. So all of these scanners can be purchased through my Amazon website store at orderyourlife.net/shop. And I really, really do believe in the ScanSnap scanners. I've tried a lot of different ones, and these are the best that I've found. So where do you put that information once you've scanned it? Well, one of the main places that I store all my documents is Dropbox, which I call my virtual file cabinet. And Dropbox acts just like any other folder on your computer, but it syncs on all your devices, including smartphones and tablets, or anywhere you have Dropbox, the Dropbox app downloaded, which means that you can access your scanned information from anywhere using the Dropbox app. And that's very convenient if you're traveling or you're out on client appointments and you only have your smartphone with you. You can access all of your scanned files and documents directly from your phone. A lot of people ask me about security with Dropbox. I personally have no hesitation about storing just about everything on Dropbox. It has bank level AES 256-bit encryption and SSL security, and you can enable the two-step verification if you want that extra layer of additional security. Others cannot see your information on Dropbox unless you choose to share it. So all of your documents and your files and folders are private. But it is a great way to share large documents or folders without having to send them over email. Sometimes email just will not send more than 3 or 4 or 5 attachments at a time. So Dropbox is a great way to send large, a lot of people use them to share folders of pictures. And also it's much more secure than emailing information. It does cost $99 a year for 1 terabyte. You do start out with 2 gigabytes of information storage with Dropbox. And there's all kinds of free ways to earn credit with Dropbox. If you take their little tour, if you like them on Facebook, if you like them on Twitter, they have all these little free ways to get more space. But if you end up storing a lot of information on Dropbox, you're probably going to end up wanting to get the terabyte of information storage a year. So this is what my Dropbox folder looks like on my Mac. For those of you who are Mac users, it just sits on the side of your menu bar in Finder and acts the same as any other folder. It is not scary to use. Everything that you use and save in Dropbox gets saved across all of your devices, including on the web. So if you're at a guest computer and you need to access your documents, you can always log into your Dropbox account online and get to all your files and folders that way. I also want to give you an idea of how I structure my folders in Dropbox. So this is how I set up my Order Your Life Business folder in Dropbox. As you can see, I have really no fear of the cloud. Maybe I'm crazy, but I put just about everything I think I'm going to need in my Dropbox account so I can have access to it at any time, anywhere. You can see I have most of my personal folders on Dropbox as well. And so my husband and I share a Dropbox account, and we can update and share information without having to worry about duplicates or different versions of the same documents. My husband is self-employed as well, and it's really changed the way we both work in our home-based businesses. I would never even think of leaving my information just on one computer now. Everything is in Dropbox because I need to be able to access it from everywhere. The only documents I store directly on my laptop are those that are really, really archived that I will never need, almost never need access to. Another great place to store your digital information is Evernote. If you haven't heard of Evernote, Evernote is a cloud-based product that makes it possible for you to remember everything, big and small, from your everyday life and using your computer, your phone, your tablet, and the web. So whereas Dropbox is my virtual file cabinet, I call Evernote my virtual bulletin board. I use it for everything that I need visual access to, or things that I might not necessarily store in a file cabinet. So all those little bits and bytes of information that I need to have at my fingertips. Just basically everything you can think of that is not a document. You can add information or notes into Evernote in the form of text or photos or images or audio or voice notes. And you can even create notes from emails, which is extremely handy. These notes are then grouped into notebooks for easier searching and to just make things neater, and that's very important if you are an organizer. You've got to have things nice and neat. So it syncs these notes across all the devices where you have Evernote installed, and that can include your computer, your mobile devices, and the Evernote website. And you need to have a login and password, of course, to access your Evernote account, so it's very secure. It's also got bank level security, and you can enable the dual-step verification if you want. One of the most fun things about Evernote is the web clipper feature, which works on all browsers, and you can basically take a web page and save it as directly as a note into your Evernote account, and that includes the text and the links and the images, which are all live in the note. And Evernote's search functionality is pretty much phenomenal. Everything is automatically saved in Evernote using the OCR optical character recognition that I talked about. So even if there's text inside a document or inside an image or a picture, if you put that word into a search bar, Evernote is going to find it. Some of the ways that I use Evernote to manage my content, or that you can use Evernote to manage your content, especially for business, includes things like travel itineraries and information. So that can include everything from your flight confirmations that you receive in an email, your hotel and car reservations. You can also collect web clips about restaurants and local attractions and other things that you want to do on your trip if you have some free time, if you're away at a conference. If you do go to a conference, you can make a notebook on all the information on it, including the notes, the agendas, the location, maps, venue information, so that that stays as a notebook. Business cards. Evernote actually has a very, very cool business card scanning feature on their mobile app, which allows you to basically take a picture of someone's business card using the camera on your smartphone. And all the information, including the person's LinkedIn profile, will automatically get put into an Evernote note and added directly into your contacts on your phone if you want it to. So here's an example of how the business card looks as a note in Evernote. So all I did was scan in her business card, which is underneath. You can't see it all there, but I just pulled in all of Johanna's information, and it linked directly to her LinkedIn profile. You have to have a LinkedIn account for it to work, of course, for that. If you have a lot of expense receipts, you can, instead of losing them or stuffing them into boxes or bags or drawers and getting them all smushed up and hard to read, you can scan them using the Evernote scanner directly into a receipts notebook in Evernote. And that way they're all captured into one central area, and they're not going to degrade over time, and you won't lose them. You can do web research on any topic and store the information you find in different notebooks on different topics. So I have notebooks on things like tech organizing tips and on organizing resources or my favorite organizing quotes and on and on and on. So this is an example of my business stack in my Evernote account. And as you can see, I've made several notebooks that pertain to my business. So you have notes and then notebooks, and notebooks can be made into stacks as well. So I've got a business stack and a personal stack, and then a couple of other stacks of larger sets of notebooks. So I've got things like my information resources that I want to collect, information on my website, which includes the numbers of my colors. I've got specific numbers that I always forget, so that kind of thing is very handy to have. Who my website provider is, some HTML text that I need to be able to have handy. I also have conference information and a notebook on the classes and workshops that I teach with marketing ideas, blog ideas. I mean, really, the opportunities are endless for notebooks in Evernote. Here's an example of what my Evernote notes look like in one of my notebooks. This is my organizing resources notebook, and I just collect information from everywhere that I think is going to be useful to my clients, from everything from where you can donate used trophies, sports trophies, and I actually did find a place to donate used sports trophies the other day, which I have been trying to do for a long time. And as you can see, the notes line up on the left side, and then the linked image of the note, which is a live image, is on the right. So I can scroll down, and if I scroll down to DMA choice, then that note will pop up on the right in a larger size. And it's very visual, and I can save the scanned items, such as this brochure for a junk recycling hauler that I have, and then the emails that I gather from different places. And they're all in one place where I can very easily find them. So I've covered a lot of information in a very short period of time, and I'm really happy to see that it's just 1 minute after 9. Wow. And I hope I haven't overwhelmed you, but I do hope that I've given you a range of tech solutions that are going to help you become more efficient in the areas that I have found essential to running a small, successful business. You're an expert at what you do, but when you run your own business, you do not have the support staff to do everything else that needs to get done in your business. And I really hope that these solutions will give you more time to spend working in your business rather than on your business. If you want to get other organizing and productivity tips from me, you can sign up for my quarterly newsletter. I only send it out quarterly, and then I will send out very, very rare emails about webinars and seminars that I have coming up. And that's on the homepage of my website at orderyourlife.net. And if you have questions about any of these or want me to help you get set up with any of these systems that I've talked about, either in person or virtually, I work via remote desktop and Skype, and I really, really love helping people, especially small business owners, figure out what the best solutions are for them and their businesses. And with that, I will finish, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
Penny, thank you so much. I wanted to share with you that I did Tuesday's session, so I learned about the reminders and the Siri activated reminders, and I used it myself, and I demonstrated it to a client who found it very helpful too. So
oh, that's great. That's
just wanted
great.
to know that your knowledge is already making an impact. We do have a couple questions. I put out a note to everyone to please go ahead. We're going to use the next 12 minutes or so to answer any questions that we can answer during this time. So if you have questions for Penny, go ahead and send those. In the meantime, Penny, I have one question for you is how should someone get started? Like what things should they definitely do and definitely not do going forward from this session?
I would say if you don't have a way to track your income and your expenses, that's the first thing you should do. Even if it's something as basic as an Excel spreadsheet for now, but you need to know how much money you're making and how much money you're spending. That is essential, because otherwise you're not running a business. And there are that I would say is absolutely the most important if you're even making money. But you need to be able to track where the money is going, because you've got to do your taxes. I mean, if you're making anything, you have to report your taxes at the end of the year. Even if you don't pay, even if you're losing money, you have to report that. So you need to be able to know where the money is coming from and where the money is going. That's number one. That's why I started with managing money. And I'm always shocked at how many people have absolutely no idea how much money they're making. You don't have a business if you don't know how much money you're making. I would say after that, you really need a good task management system. There are a lot of things that we have to keep on top of, and you've got to have a trusted place to put it down. If you are not into tech solutions, that is fine. Take one notebook and write every single thing down that you have to do for your business, but put it in one place. Do not have 500 Post-its all over the place with all the different things you have to do, because you're going to lose them. Unless you have one of these beautiful boards and you love Post-its and you put the Post-its up on the board, and as you finish them, there are actually organizing, I mean, for people who like paper, there are actually these special boards, Post-it boards, that are made where you can put your Post-its up, and when you're done with them, you can take them down. And you can also take a wall and put them up on the wall. But please don't have Post-its lying all over your computer space, your desk space, your drawers, your files. It's not an efficient way to get things done. So you have to know what you have to do, and you have to know how much money you're making. I would say those are probably the two most important things. The CRM, I've been in business for over 5 years, and I did not start a CRM until last year. And I managed to keep track of my clients. I did on folders on my computer, and I still do sort of a hybrid of a CRM and folders in Dropbox. I just can't let go of Dropbox. So I've got beautifully organized folders in Dropbox on all of my clients, and I'm slowly moving those over to a CRM. So you don't have to get a CRM right away. But I would say your money and your to-dos are the most important things. You've got to know what you've got to do. And you've got to get it out on paper.
Excellent. Great. So good, 2 solid first steps. Make sure those 2 things are handled. Let's see. There's a question here from Michelle. Penny, do you have a recommendation for which calendar system you like? And if more than one, how to sync them?
Oh, okay. Well, I would say that really depends on whether you are a Mac or a PC user. I am all Mac all the time, so I use iCal. A lot of people hate iCal, and I don't really know why, but I don't have any problems with it. I use iCal because I've got it on my Mac. I have iCloud, and it syncs across everything. So if I put an appointment in my iPhone, it's going to show up on my laptop and my desktop, and I can share my calendars very easily with my partners, with my family members. It's very easy to do that. Google Calendar is also right up there. Now, I am not a big Google user. I wouldn't say I'm not a Google fan, but I use Gmail very sparingly. I do not have Google Calendars, but Google Calendar seems to be the calendar app that integrates the best with most of these apps. So if you do use Gmail and Google Calendar, go ahead and get everything into Google Calendar, and it's going to be very easy to integrate it. And it's a little hard to explain on a session like this, but you can sync Google Calendar with iCal. So if you need to, take it to that level, you can do that. But I would say either iCal or Google Calendar are the best calendars. Google Calendar is probably the most popular calendar out there. I don't use it just because it doesn't show up on the desktop of my Mac, and I like to have a calendar right there where I can see it. I don't want to have to go in and open, the web in order to look at my calendar. So it really depends on what you're doing. I would not use Outlook as a calendar or anything like that. I find it very clunky and difficult to use. But those are my 2 top calendar choices.
And is Google Calendar, I'm on Mac also, and I use Google Calendar. It's cross-platform. Can you use Google Calendar on a PC?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Google Calendar, yes, you can use it on anything. Yes.
On anything. Okay.
All you need is a Google account.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. We have some more questions flooding in here. Okay, so
good.
This one I'm not sure if we'll have enough information, but here we go. Bill asks, I am a solopreneur who's nearing a tipping point where I will have to hire 1099 support. Should I get accounting and other tools for where I am now, or get the more sophisticated versions anticipating what is to come?
Okay, so I have 1099 employees myself, and you can actually, depending on what you use for your tax information, if you do your taxes yourself, there is some very, very easy, okay, I'll back up a little bit. If you use something like Outright or GoDaddy Bookkeeping, it's very easy to categorize your expenses as contractors. There's actually a category of expense called contractor freelancer. So as long as when you pay that contractor, say you pay them $100 and it shows up and you pay them from your business bank account, it will come out under Outright or FreshBooks as an expense, and you're going to mark it as contractor freelancer. Then at the end of the year, you need to give them a 1099. It's very easy to do that. Do not pay an accountant to generate a 1099 for you. It is the biggest waste of money. They'll charge you like $500 to do a 1099, and you can do it for $3.99 on some online. If you use TurboTax to do your own taxes, the personal and business one, they have a free 1099 generating feature in it. And all you have to do is run the report at the end of the year. How much did I pay contractor X? And as long as it's more than $600, you have to issue them a 1099. So it will automatically, all you need to know is how much you paid them. It's very, very simple. I pay contractors every year. I do not use QuickBooks for that. I may have to go to QuickBooks because I'm about to go into a multi-person business, and Outright and FreshBooks are meant for solopreneurs. But you can definitely use those. All you need to know is the amount that you paid each contractor. At the end of the year, the reports are run. You just do a little filter. How much did I pay contractor X? $2,500, and you do a 1099 for that person. And there's tons of very inexpensive ways to do that online, and just generate a 1099. It sends the person directly to the person and to the IRS. Do not pay an accountant to do it for you. It's a total waste of money.
That's a good tip. Yeah. Yeah, great. Let's see. Bill had a follow-up question to that. So he says, I noticed that you had obtaining an LLC in one of your task listings.
Yes.
I know this is a bit off topic, but can you recommend a tool or a site for getting an LLC?
Oh, you know what? It really, it depends on the state you're in, but it's very simple. The LLC process is very simple you have to just go onto your state's website. So I live in Maryland. I went to the maryland.gov website. There's a small business section. You can just Google LLC in whatever state you live in, and there's a very, very specific set of instructions for becoming an LLC. If you are becoming a sole proprietor LLC, again, don't pay a lawyer to do it for you. It's as easy as you don't need an operating agreement because you're just yourself. All you need, I am becoming a multi-person LLC, which is why I need to hire a lawyer to draft an operating agreement. So that's a whole different kettle of fish. But as a sole proprietor LLC, you just have to fill out one form, pay them $300 or $150 to incorporate as an LLC. Make sure you pay your annual LLC filing taxes. And that's pretty much it. It's really very, very basic to become a sole proprietor LLC, but it really depends on the rules in your state. So I would just Google whatever your state's laws are, and there will be very specific instructions on how to do that for each state government.
Terrific. I'm now lamenting the money that I spent on setting up my sole proprietor. Okay.
Well, I'm making up for it by spending it on a lawyer now, let me tell you. So.
Okay. I used one of those services, and I can't remember the name of it now.
Yes, there's like Zoom Legal.
Yes, LegalZoom.
Yeah, LegalZoom. It's like you don't even need LegalZoom.
Just go right to the state.
Just go right to the state software, and there are forms, and all you do is fill them out and mail them in and sign it. It's really, really easy.
Good to know for next time.
Yes, next time, exactly.
Okay, great. Let me check. Let's see. Check other questions. This might be a can of worms, but any quick solutions to how can I manage my email situation?
Oh, okay. Well, I talked about this a little bit at the Tuesday webinar, I would say the first thing to do is to look very carefully at what your emails are. It's just like looking at your junk mail. If you are getting a lot of junk email, and you're not reading it, you've got to unsubscribe from it. Do not fool yourself into thinking that, oh, maybe I'll use that coupon, or oh, maybe I'll need to read that someday. All it's doing is cluttering up your email space. I use something called unroll.me, UNROLL.me. It's a free service that will hook up with either Yahoo, Hotmail, I think it is, or AOL or Gmail. And it basically goes into, you give it your login and your password, and it will go into your email account and find everything that it thinks is a newsletter subscription. And it will go through every single one of them, and you will be shocked to see how many newsletter subscriptions you actually get, because they just multiply like rabbits. And it will ask you whether you want to unroll them or whether you want to unsubscribe from them, and it will unsubscribe for you. All you have to do is check it. You don't have to do anything else. It will automatically unsubscribe for you. Or you can keep it in your inbox if you really feel it's worthy of being kept in your inbox. Or you can roll it up, which means it will put it into a digest that you can read once a day in a very, very beautiful, easy to read format. You can choose whether you want it to come in the morning or in the middle of the day or in the evening around 8 o'clock at night. And it will put all those emails in a very, very easy to read format. And if you want to open any of them, you can click on it and open it, or you can just eyeball the whole bunch and say, not interested, delete the whole thing at once. So, you could have 20 or 30 emails all rolled up into one and realize that you've just gotten, taken care of all of them in one fell swoop. But unsubscribe and delete. Once emails are read and action is taken on them, get rid of them. Open them. I can't believe how many people don't just open their emails. If it's a junk email, if you have an iPhone, swipe it and get rid of it. It's, once you've unsubscribed and you want to get rid of your old emails, take 5 minutes a day and you can just click on them, or you can do a mass delete online. For me, I can only have like 10 emails at a time unopened in my email inbox before I start to get nervous. And then I see clients with 40 or 50,000 unopened emails, and I think, how can you live like that? But you can, if you haven't read it in 2 or 3 years, it's time for it to go. Just get on your computer and do a mass delete. That you are not going to go back and need those emails. You're not like Hillary Clinton. You can just get rid of them. So, or you can archive them if you really feel you need to. But they are slowing down. Emails take up storage space. They actually slow down your computer, and they slow down your phone. So take some time and get rid of them. And then you can categorize the ones you need to. I forward all the emails that are action emails right into Nosby, and then I get rid of them. So if they are action related, they go right into my task management. They become tasks, and then they go. If they are client related, they go right into Insightly. I forward them into Insightly, and then they go. So I try to keep my email, to a low roar if possible.
You run a tight email ship.
Yes, I do. Email makes me very nervous. Paper and email. That's one of the great things about being OCD. You gotta open your mail and open your email. So
that's great. Penny, thank you so much. I think we got to everyone's question. I just want to let everyone know that the recording for this session and the slide deck handouts and Penny's special report, 7 tips to going paperless, will all be coming within 48 hours. And again, thank you, Penny, so much for your time and for your expertise, and everyone for taking time out of your Thursday evening schedule to be here. And we look forward to seeing you at the next Most Powerful Life educational series. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, Marlene.